I ask you a question. Was Jesus a doctor? ஆமாவா இல்லையா? வேறு ஒன்றுமே இல்லையா? அவர் எல்லாம்னு சொல்லி ஆன்சர் வேறு மாதிரி திருப்பிடக்கூடாது. Jesus was a doctor. Dear fathers and sisters, I want to bring you what you have said is correct. It's not a fully integrated, perfect answer. That is my way of looking at you today at this new chapter of beginning the chart in Tamil Nadu, the mission which you are wonderfully doing. There is no doubt at all what you are doing. Brothers and sisters, நற்செய்தியிலே ஏறக்குறைய 38 மிரக்கல்ஸ், புதுமைகளை நம் ஆண்டவராக இயேசு கிறிஸ்து செய்திருக்கின்றார். அதை நம்புகிறீங்களா? எண்ணி இருக்கீங்களா? போய் எண்ணுங்க. அதே ஒரு வருஷம் ஆயிரும். தியான சிந்தனைக்கு அருமையாக இருக்கும். There are 38 miracles in the gospel. இப்போ தான் கேள்வி வருது. மருத்துவ பணியில் ஈடுபட்ட உங்களை பார்த்து கேட்குறேன், இந்த 38 புதுமைகளில் எத்தனை புதுமைகள் குணமளிக்கும் புதுமைகள்? யார் கரெக்டாக சொல்கிறாங்களோ குழந்தை ஆண்டவர் பரிசு கொடுப்பார். என்கிட்ட அப்படி நிறையா வச்சுருக்காரு, அதனால் நான் சொல்கிறேன். எங்களுக்கே தெரியாதுன்னு சொல்கிறீங்க, எங்களுக்கு தெரியாதுன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். Actually, there are 29 miracles are mainly meant healing the bodies. About 76% of the miracles of Jesus were occasion when he healed people miraculously. Thus, this makes Jesus a doctor. நீங்கள் சொன்ன மாதிரி இங்குதான் என்னுடைய கேள்வி வருகின்றது. அவரை மருத்துவராக பார்க்கின்றீர்களோ அல்லது வேறுபட்ட கோணத்தில் பார்க்கின்றீர்களா? அவரை நான் மருத்துவராக பார்க்கவில்லை. I would say no. Jesus was not a doctor, but he was a healer. ஏன் அதை முதல்ல சொல்ல? சரி, பல வகையான கேள்விகளுக்கு பல வகையான பதில்கள் வருது, எல்லாமே ரைட். பட் தேர் இஸ் அ க்ரூசியல் டிஃப்ரென்ஸ் பிட்வீன் டூ. மருத்துவருக்கும் குணமளிக்கும் ஆண்டவருக்கும் வித்தியாசம் இருக்கின்றது. ஸோ வாட் இஸ் த டிஃப்ரென்ஸ் பிட்வீன் த டூ? ஐ வுட் லைக் டு ரிஃப்ளெக்ட் with you today on 3 important differences based on the readings that we have heard today. The first difference is this: a doctor treats the body, a healer treats the whole body, which is called the temple of God. For a doctor, in the integral whole of our organs, bones, flesh, nerves, blood, and the rest is nothing more than a living body. For a healer, however, in the integral whole is a holy temple of God. This is the lesson St. Paul gives us in the second reading of today. 2 வசனங்கள் தான், அருமையான வசனங்கள். So, dear Reverend fathers and sisters, there are 3 important elements that make a building a temple of God. The first one, the presence of God, the ownership of God, and worship of God. Very simple real தான். கஷ்டமாக இருந்ததுன்னா டாக்டர் அருண் இருக்கார், அவர்கிட்ட போய் கேட்டுங்க, நல்ல விலைக்கு சொல்வார். அடுத்த சாப்டர் கூப்பிட்டிங்கன்னா இதே சொல்லிடுறேன் நான். So, the 3 important points that makes presence. Temple is where God lives. It is where we feel the presence of God. In your body, the presence of God is there. Secondly, the ownership. Temple is a God's property. No human can claim it to be his own. The temple belongs to God. Thirdly, worship. Temple is a place of worship. It is meant for us to honor, worship God through our body. Hence, St. Paul, in the second reading of today, attributes these three elements of a temple to the human body, as we have heard. He asks, don't you know that your bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit, who is in you and whom you have received from God? This is the element of God's presence. Secondly, you are not your own. You were bought for a price. This is the element of God's ownership. Our bodies are not our own. They belong to God. For Jesus bought us with the praise of his own life on the cross. So the ownership belongs to God. மூன்றாவதாக பார்க்கும் பொழுது, உள்ளத்தாலும் எண்ணத்தாலும் உடலாலும் செயல்களாலும் அவரை நாம் ஆராதிக்க வேண்டும். Honor God with your bodies. This is the element of worship. Our bodies are meant to honor God, and this become a place of worship. To sum it up, dear fathers and sisters, St. Paul proves that what is true of your temple is also true of a body. Our body is God's temple. Can you imagine what a difference his teaching would make our mission meaningful? That is the thing I want to give you today. Don't look at a patient when he comes as a doctor, but look at the person as a healer. So each patient that comes to you is a temple of God. Every time you deal with a broken limb or a failing organ, you are dealing with God's temple with respect, with honor. You have to deal. So சமயத்தில் கோவப்படுவோம். காலை லெஃப்ட் கையை தூக்க சொன்னால் அவன் ரைட்டு கை தூக்குவான். ஏன்னா அவனுக்கு இங்கிலீஷ் தெரியாது, அது நம்மளுக்கு தெரியாது. அதனால் அந்த கையை தூக்கணும், அவன் சொன்ன கை தூக்கிட்டீங்களேன்னுமா அதையும் சொல்லுவான். அதனால் கேர்ஃபுல்லாக இருக்கணும். So every time you deal with a broken limb or a failing organ, you are dealing with a God's temple, respect with honor. So every time you administer an injection or prescribe a pill, you are handling a temple of God. Only a doctor who can say this difference and become a healer. I wish and pray that you should become a healer, not a doctor. Don't worry about the MPPS title. You are all doctor, we accept it. But above that, you are all healer. No matter who your patient is, no matter of which color, religion, caste, education, language, nationality, intelligence, or economic status, your patient's body is a temple of God. Nobody is of little worth. Nobody is insignificant in your presence, whether rich or poor. Few years before, a bench of Justice S.A. Bobde and L.A. Rao of the Supreme Court, it happens 3 or 4 years before, refused to allow a woman who is in her 26th week of pregnancy to abort her fetus on the ground that is suffered from a Down syndrome. The judges said, someone with Down syndrome may be less intelligent, but he is still a person. Still, he is a human being. Hence, the judges said in the judgment, we don't think we are going to allow the termination of pregnancy. We have a life in our hands. It is given to you. Be careful. With a warning, the judges have the verdict. I'm sure, dear fathers and sisters, that this judgment will be subjected to severe criticism from all angles in the society. But I think the judgment underlines something very important. Life matters no matter what it is. Jesus was a healer because he saw the image of likeness of God in everyone he met and restored the same in his healing ministry. Once when his disciples see a man born blind, they ask him, why was this man born blind? Was it because of his sins or his parents' sins? Jesus replied, "Neither this man nor his parents have sinned. This happened so that the power of God would be seen in him." இறை ஆற்றலின் தன்மையை வெளிப்படுத்தவே அவர் குருடனாக பார்வை இழந்தவராக பிறந்திருக்கின்றார் என்று கூறுகின்றார். Jesus, as a true healer, restored the dignity of every person he healed. Hence, I invite you, sisters, our mission is the same, the first point for your reflection, to treat every patient as a temple of God and restore this dignity every time we heal them. Secondly, a doctor treats, a healer touches. அதான் இங்கே அருமையாக எழுதி போட்டிருக்காங்க. சோனியரில் தான் வரும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். Healing, touching. So, a doctor treats, a healer touches. Jesus employed a very unique method in his dealing. He healed with his touch. Today's gospel is a wonderful passage I have chosen that helps us to realize the power of the touch of Jesus. There are two miracles clubbed together in today's gospel message. The first one, the healing of a woman who had suffered hemorrhage for 12 long years. The second one, the daughter of Jairus is restored to life. Observe how the miracles occur in the gospel passage. The first miracle, who touches Jesus Christ? Who takes the initiative? The woman touches the cloak of Jesus, not him. And such a touch was very forceful. Jesus felt that power was going out and he was asking, who was the one who was touching me without my permission? So touching is an important element in our life, sisters. Have you ever touched people? Not physical touch. This way, when you treat the people, when you look at your sister as a nurse, as a doctor, as a simple nurse who is coming to you, have you with your smile, with a concern, with the encouraging words, have you ever felt that someone is touching you through that person who is healing you? It happened to me. I was in the hospital in Kaveri. I also had corona, because without corona you can be a true Indian citizen nowadays. So get your certificate also. Because now this last waves, even the CM, PM, AM all are cutting, and also Superior General also will get, and bishops I think we have got it already, because we were the forerunners, so they were to got it. So I was in the hospital, special ward they put me. So every 6 hours one new nurse used to come. You could see the difference. In a day 4 nurses, and you could see how each one is taken care of. That matters a lot. So finally they asked me, giving the name, you vote for the nurses whom you deem to be real nurse. What should I write? I am telling this one, that's the difference between a normal nurse and a religious nurse also. The way you receive them, the you handle them, the way you encourage them, the way you look at them. Sisters, I invite you, when the patient is, look at the patient through your eyes. But not other people don't look at through eyes. Now that will create problem, lot of problem. The patient, you look through the eyes. I told one of the doctors told me, who is taking care of the pediatrics, for children, he told me, as soon as a child comes, you look at the eyes of the child. To mesmerize the child, to give that confidence to the child that a person is there to take care of me. The touching need not be physical, it should be various ways. Few years before, in India, we begin to hear voices of protest against corruption of the Medical College of India. There they brought out this message. Don't go for money, but go for really caring and share. A doctor approaches his profession as an obligation to treat the patient to the best of his experience and knowledge. A healer approaches healing as a mission to touch and transform the lives of his or her patient in an integral, holistic way. As I tell, through kind words, encouraging way, smiling. Don't be, Our Lady of Sorrows in front of them. Our Lady of Sorrows is important, necessary, but not that particular moment. Simple gesture of thoughtfulness, even remembering a patient's name, may mean to a lot to him or her. This is how Jesus touched his patients. Jesus shows as an example. பாருங்க, இந்த நடந்த புதுமையிலே அவர் யாரோ டச் பண்ணிக்கிற பவர் போயிருக்குன்னு போயிருக்கலாம். அதை எடுத்து சொல்லி இறைவனுடைய திருநாமத்தை மகிமைப்படுத்துறதுக்கு அவர் யூஸ் பண்ணுறாருன்னா காரணம் அந்த பெண்மேல் கொண்ட ஒரு கரிசனை, அன்பு, பாசம். அதுதான் முக்கியம். That is the thing I want from you when you begin a new era of the chart. This is why I say always, medicine is not just a noble profession of treating patients. For me, it's a spiritual mission to touching the very lives of the people with whom you are encountering. Today's first reading in the book of Isaiah is a reminder of this mission. We are all ambassadors of God's mercy and love to those whom He sends us to. This invitation became the mandate of Jesus' mission as He proclaimed after His baptism. We are all called today to make the mandate of Jesus the mission of our lives. The third and final point of our reflection. A doctor always values the success, whereas a healer values the purpose. It is unfortunate truth that today medicine has turned into a business. Hospitals are bent on making profits than caring for patients. The staff is pressurized to inflate the bills of patients, and the doctors are pressurized to admit patients to increase profits. The spiritual and ethical foundation of medicine is lost when business-mindedness takes over. The grace for money and profit also inflected the orientation of doctors across our country. While on one hand, the efficiency of our medical personnel and profession has won international acclaim, and at the same time, we have failed to reach out to the poor and the needy who form the majority of our country. Dear fathers and sisters, most often we look at our profession as a ladder to climb. A ladder to climb. Those of you who are in the field, how do you look at the mission? How you want to do your mission fruitfully, at the same time grow in the love of Jesus Christ. Most of us institutions meant for to give a service, value-based service. While there is nothing wrong your ambition and goals, but I would like to reflect on what motivates your dreams. That is important. After having assumed the office of chairman of St. John's National Academy of Health Sciences, I am the chairman. தெரியுமா சரி, இன்னைக்கு நான் தெரிஞ்சுக்கணும். A number of people, எதுக்கு நான் சொல்லணும்னா, a number of people always approach me with the recommendation for admission. As if now I am the one who decides everything. After the NEET, nothing is doing with that. I always instruct them that they should follow the admission process, and we do not encourage any recommendation. But however, some of them would insist, no, just a letter is enough, consolation for me. So I used to give, but always I give this name. A useful and effective method I have found to send them away giving ordinary letter is them. Have you ever done any rural experience certificate? Rural barn சொல்லுவாங்க. அது எம்பிபிஎஸ் முடிச்சுட்டு போஸ்ட் கிராஜுவேட். அது முன்னாலே இப்போ செய்யறதுக்கு ஒரு வாய்ப்பு இருக்குது. அது மாதிரி ஒரு ஆசையும் ஆவலையும் ஏற்படுத்துறவங்களுக்கு தான் கொடுக்கணும்னு நாங்கள் சொல்லிகிட்டு இருக்கோம். ஸோ மை டியர் சிஸ்டர்ஸ், டுடே ஐ வாண்ட் டு see all of you as a healer, not as a doctor. So your mission is very much essential, very much valued in the society. இந்த காலகட்டத்திலே மருத்துவம் என்பது மிகவும் அவசியமாக இருக்கின்றது. எனவே நமது பணி சிறக்க வேண்டும் என்றால் நம்முடைய எண்ணமும் நாம் கொண்டிருக்கின்ற இலக்கும் சரியாக அமைய நம் ஆண்டவராகிய இயேசு கிறிஸ்து நமக்கு உதவியாக இருக்கின்றார். எனவே வருகின்ற காலத்திலே இன்றைய நற்செய்தி முதல் 2 வாசங்களுக்கு ஏற்றவாறு, let us treat our people who are coming to you as temple of God, their body, to touch and transform the lives of your patient, that they could feel that you are instrument in the hands of God, and always give purpose what you are doing, not look for success. So I conclude with the beautiful words of Mother Teresa, I might have called. Once someone interview asked, "Mother, we are all happy about what you are doing. So many people all over the world appreciating. And do you feel that you are successful?" And he said, "I never felt I am successful, but I want to be faithful to the Lord." So whatever you do as a doctor, nurse, as a healer, let it be being faithful to the call for which we are called. May God bless you, bless the association and all your new undertaking, that Tamil Nadu Bishops Council will always walk with you, encourage you and help you in all possible ways, so that your mission become always meaningful, significant and above all fruitful. May God bless you.